My name's Kadeena Cox. I'm from Leeds originally. I do athletics and track cycling. My disability is having multiple sclerosis. My life growing up was pretty fun. I grew up in a place called Chapeltown in Leeds. My mum and my grandma had a restaurant, Caribbean restaurant. My grandma had a Caribbean takeaway. So we spent a lot of time in the shops. I grew up with my 4 sisters before my little brother and sister were born. So when I was in primary school, there was 5 of us, 5 girls. So it was super fun, kind of a blended family, all growing up a bit hectic. And yeah, it was just nice. I was a dancer at that point and kind of doing a lot of stuff in the community. So getting involved in Caribbean carnivals. In terms of sport, I kind of started out as a dancer. So I danced from the age of 4, kind of doing jazz, contemporary, tap, Afro-Caribbean, ballet, pretty much everything that was available I did, which very quickly led into kind of being quite sporty. So I did, football, I did netball, sports hall athletics. When I got to high school, I played hockey at quite a high level. I loved trampolining. I pretty much just did every sport available to me. Balancing sport life and education is challenging. And I think, I'll be honest, I think kind of in my A levels, I did slack a little bit too much. Trying to work hard to make sure I was in a great position for my sport, which then meant my A-levels didn't quite go to plan. When I went to university, I thought I'd focus solely on athletics. So I probably quit hockey when I was 17, 18. I thought I'd focus just on athletics, and it kind of got to a point when me and my coach realised that my potential probably lied in being a 400-metre runner. And then, as I was kind of, working my way up and about to do a season of 400-metre running, that's when I got ill. I think the way in which I dealt with my illness was with sports. It wasn't a case of, thinking, oh, my dreams are over and having to refocus. It was literally, my sport is going to keep me focused throughout this kind of transition period. And then when I was diagnosed with the MS, that was another blow. And I know that it was more of a long-term health condition rather than just you have a stroke and you move on. I was gonna say it took me a little bit longer. It took me an extra day longer. And then I started fundraising to get me back into sport. So me and my coach at the time, before he started coaching me, he worked with Paralympic pathways up in Scotland. So he kind of knew disability kind of world. So he was quite content, just to crack on. So we worked really well together. Having watched some of my coach's athletes at the London Games, I was excited to be part of the Paralympic team. And then cycling, it was just by chance, really. I spoke to the lady who was helping me with my talent transfer to skeleton, put me in contact with the Paralympic equivalent, and she offered me canoeing or track cycling. And I was kind of like, well, I can't swim, so I'm not doing canoeing. So I just thought, well, it's a clean slate. At that point, I was struggling with athletics because I knew how good I was before, and I was always comparing myself to old Kadeena, whereas cycling was just a clean slate, and I seemed to walk in and be relatively good. So I was like, I like this. I'm quite good here. I'm going to stick around. But then when I did get into cycling, it was then, okay, you need to buy your bike. You need to buy these shoes. And it's just expensive. Bikes are not cheap. Getting a decent bike was quite hard, but I had, so my mum helped me. We did loads of fundraising. So a few different companies put together to basically raise funds for me to get my first bike. But Velodrome is quite far away, and I wasn't living in Manchester at that point because I moved back home after getting ill. So that was a struggle, just trying to get over there. So, once I got the bike, it was kind of navigating all the other kind of obstacles. Now, I've got a few people that I know that have transferred into cycling that were okay at athletics, but are really excelling in cycling. And I know it's the same. I've got a friend who's gone from athletics into canoeing. So just kind of, trying out different events and seeing what works best for your body and your impairment. The difference when you find something that works for you and you start to progress the way you think you have the potential to, it's so rewarding. I absolutely love it. I've been in the sport now for donkeys. There was potential for me to just kind of go, well, I did athletics before, that's what I'm going to do now. which could have been, I'm doing okay at athletics, but I am also great at cycling. So, I could have really limited myself there. I think, just trying a few different things out is always a great shout. Inspiring the next generation, trying to get more diversity within cycling, because for me, representation is key. If you look at cycling, I am the only Black gold medalist across Olympic and Paralympic. If anyone looks to the sport, they don't really see anyone that looks like them. So it's kind of hard to, think, as a 10-year-old, I'm going to get into like cycling, there's that person that looks like me. And even when I cycle around my area, like kids kind of look at me and they kind of like giggle, like, why is she wearing all that Lycra stuff? I absolutely love representing my city. I love representing the area that I've come from. Doesn't matter where you're from, doesn't matter where your background is, your upbringing, you can still go out and achieve, amazing things. And I guess I push the boundaries just to kind of, be like, well, if I can do it, you can do it too, and hopefully do it a lot better. There's a lot of us Leeds athletes that do great on the Olympic and Paralympic scene. So I feel like I'm part of something pretty big. I think the best thing is the fact that I thrive under pressure, and, going into major championships and going into, Paralympic Games, people are looking at me as a person to beat. And for me, that's exciting. Like, I'm like, okay, you want to beat me? Well, I want to beat me also. So I'm going to go quick. So I feel like I'm setting myself up to hopefully create an amazing legacy. And I think that's pretty cool, being Kadeena Cox.